I don't know about you, but after watching Blue Therapy, and specifically this couple, Victor and Maria on Blue Therapy, I felt very triggered as someone with a past which is somewhat similar. I was a bit reminiscent. They're a little bit more modern, a bit more nuanced. Because I think I was in an interracial relationship in the early 2000s. They could have been born when I was in an interracial relationship, or they were kids at least. So things have kind of changed. But watching them, it just brought a lot to mind that I actually want to talk about in this video. Because I talk to women and I talk to women to become agentic, to start taking charge of your own life. And so I believe that if you're one of those women who wants to start believing in yourself, trusting yourself, making your own decisions and not regretting anything in your life, but knowing that whatever didn't work out in your life was actually a lesson for you and not repeating those same mistakes, then this video is for you. So keep watching, keep listening. So first things first, it is obvious in seeing this couple that they truly love each other and that the chemistry is real. But there was an unmet need, deep soul longing, which is common, that you can love someone and have chemistry, but still have something that you value not met. And most times it is women who have these unmet needs. And it's something that I discovered when I was listening to a lot of therapists, that it's usually women who bring up the stuff, because men can just live this life where they just go on autopilot. But women, we sort of like, when they say we multitask, we see a lot. So a woman usually brings up the issues to a man and he'll be like, but I thought we were okay. And even when I was listening to a lot of lawyers, they usually say men, when they decide to divorce or to leave a relationship, they just decide there and then. Something happens and they're like, it's no. But women sort of like build up to leaving someone, whereby they like keep the wrongs and decide to then exit after a few times. So this is why I'm saying women usually bring up the issues. I don't know. Does it mean that we keep things that we're not happy with for a long time until we're like, I can't keep this in me anymore, and we burst and the man is like, oh. And I think that's what, from what I saw, Victor kept saying, I'm very happy. It's the best relationship in my life, the best thing that's ever happened to me. But Maria is telling her sister she's not happy. Then you're like, so how much did she compromise? Or how much is Maria having to compromise to make that relationship happy? That's something I pose to you all. I mean, it should be said that part of the reason why maybe women, we are like that, this could be because we are conditioned to sacrifice and to put others first, including our partner. Perhaps.
My relationship wouldn't be as good if my partner didn't bring up issues. But when she brings up issues, I'm like, why are you bringing up issues? You know what I mean? And it's that having that empathy.
Sure. What we saw in the research is that 80% of the time, women bring up the problems in a relationship. 80%, vast majority. And I think it's because women are raised in society to nurture, to create connection, to maintain the family unit, right? To create relationship and make sure the relationship is good and solid and secure. So we were raised with feeling that responsibility for the relationship being good. And when we detect something isn't so good, we're going to bring it up.
But beneath the arguments, beneath the raised voices, the tears from sadness that we saw in Maria, beneath the drama that was created, there was something much deeper that was happening. And that's what I actually want to talk about. So we saw a clash of values, a clash of identity, a clash of culture. And if you're a Black African woman, you probably felt it in your spirit, that what Maria wants, because in many African homes, marriage is not just a relationship milestone. Being somebody's wife, it is honor, it is legacy, it is belonging. It is, I have arrived. I am now Mrs. As Maria rightly said, it's her dream. So from childhood, many of us were raised with the understanding that becoming a wife and a mother was not simply one life option among many. It was a symbol of womanhood. You're now valued, a sign that you have built something meaningful. Marriage and family weren't just goals. They become part of how we understand ourselves, how we perceive ourselves, how we are perceived by society. So when a woman like Maria finds herself in a relationship where those desires are uncertain, they're delayed or dismissed, the tension isn't just about logistics. It's way deeper than that. It touches on identity, as I've mentioned already. It touches the quiet dreams she carried for years. And when we compromise on something that's sacred, the cost can be profound, which is why she had a right to be upset. Because compromising on a core value doesn't create peace. It creates internal conflict and an identity crisis. Yes, you may stay in that relationship. Yes, you may smile, you may still have good moments, you may convince yourself you're being patient, but deep down, a part of you will be grieving something that you were taught was meant to be yours. That kind of compromise slowly turns into resentment, into confusion, slowly turns into emotional exhaustion, where you get tired of desiring something and the painful feeling that you've betrayed yourself, which often leads to heartbreak and disappointment. This is why I speak so openly about people-pleasing and self-betrayal as things women need to leave in 2026. Many women don't lose themselves overnight, They lose themselves one compromise at a time. One, maybe it will change, I'll adjust. And 2 weeks ago, I shared a YouTube video talking about exactly this, why compromising your deepest values will always come back to haunt you, and it ends up wounding you in the process. And watching that Blue Therapy episode only reinforced that truth, that when two people hold different life values, love alone cannot resolve the tension. Clarity can, however. Courage, being courageous can. Self-honesty can. And sometimes guidance.
Let's talk about Maria and Victor from Blue Therapy, because that was a perfect example of the compromise that I talked about in my previous video. And please read the captions because I don't want to be copyright striked. So I have got them in bold, in yellow, but please read along because they really explain what I was talking about. We see Victor, who says he's very happy, he's lucky, and he keeps saying we, if you see the captions. But then Maria says, I brought him to therapy because I think there's something wrong with him. Because what Maria actually wants is to be wifed. And yet Victor goes, I don't see the need to do that. Maria thinks he needs convincing. Victor tells us that no, for him, he does things with intention. Maria, on the other hand, is asked, and she says it's her dream to get married. But it also is something that she was culturally conditioned to be a big goal of a relationship. And we see them now where Victor thinks he's happy. Maria, on the other hand, says she's not happy. If you watch the dialogue that's coming up where she speaks to her sister and she talks about the fact that she's not happy and she may leave, to show you the amount of compromising that women do, not just in relationships, love relationships, but with a lot of things. We compromise in our jobs, we compromise with our friendships, we compromise for the life that we want, to give in to what other people desire, at the end leaving us unhappy because we've abandoned ourselves, we've abandoned our dreams, our desires, our values, our principles to please another. But let me tell you, reality will come knocking and remind you that you've forgotten yourself, you've abandoned yourself. I just don't agree with compromise that causes us to suppress our identity and parts of ourselves that we actually value.
So from watching Blue Therapy, it is obvious that therapy as guidance towards healing helped them. Remember, therapy just means to heal. So why am I posting this video? Why am I doing this video? Because I want to speak to that woman who, if you're navigating a relationship where your values, your future, and your identity feel uncertain, that you don't have to figure it out alone. Because I know it's quite a scary decision. It's a big decision. Sometimes you simply need a safe space to think clearly, to speak honestly and be heard, and to reconnect with what you truly want for your life. If that's where you are right now, my coaching space exists for women exactly in that position. Women who are ready to stop abandoning themselves. Women who are ready to choose alignment over compromise. Women who are ready to say, I want to believe in myself, believe in my dreams, and go after them. I've been there myself, so watch the YouTube video linked in my bio to go deeper into this conversation. And if you feel called to talk through your situation with support, you're welcome to connect with me. Remember, your life decisions should come from clarity, confidence, and self-respect. Not pressure, not fear, or the need to please others. You do deserve a life that honors your values, not one that quietly erodes them and erodes you, that you end up disappearing, not knowing where you start and where you end. And I've also got some resources. Sometimes we don't want to make confident choices. I've got a confident archetype quiz, which I'll link in the description below. I've also got It's Time to Arise. I've got some beautiful affirmations for Black women. They helped me. I sit here confidently doing what I love, doing what I enjoy, doing what I've always felt I was called to do because I did the work. And it's simple, just at a click of a button. So thank you so much for watching. I'm Fatima and this is the Confidence Collective. And please subscribe if you want more empowering videos and share with another woman that could benefit from this. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye.